What is up, everyone? JGait here, and I'm back with another episode of JGait Sports Talk. It's been a while and a lot has happened. I'm not going to keep it too long today, so I'm just going to get right into it. First off, we're going to start with the NBA playoffs. It's already happening. 3 games happened last night. Going to go through each one of them quickly. First game is Thunder and the Rockets. Rockets beat the Thunder 105-99 and has officially eliminated OKC from NBA playoffs. Rockets advanced to the second round. You had Harden, good game, 34 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Patrick Beverley, 15 points, 8 rebounds. The Rockets have really proven themselves to be a top competitive team this NBA season. Now, with the Thunder, you had Westbrook, who again shows that he is very dominant. 47 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 assist away from another triple-double. I mean, that guy, despite what happened to Thunder, Westbrook deserves the MVP because it's one of those seasons that he deserves it. Because, the guy averaged a triple-double. I've said it before, hundreds of times. I mean, it's only the second player to do so in the history of the NBA. I mean, who knows? We might never see it again. So, Russell Westbrook is very deserving of the MVP. That's all I gotta say. But Thunder had a great season, and you gotta applaud them for that, Okay, moving on to the next game. You had Jazz and the Clippers. Jazz won 96-92 in Game 5. Gordon Hayward, 27 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Rudy Gobert, 11 points, 11 rebounds, 5 steals. And this is the Jazz's first playoff appearance in a long time, if I'm correct. A couple years. So far, this is Game 5 already. So right now, I believe the Jazz are leading 3-2. Yeah, 3-2 in the series. With the Clippers, with Blake Griffin out for the playoffs, which is unfortunate. You had Chris Paul stepping up, 28 points, 9 assists. JJ Redick, 26 points. And DeAndre Jordan, 14 points and 12 rebounds. I mean, in my honest opinion, I'm hoping that the Clippers win this series. But you gotta see what happens. Anything could happen in the playoffs. Okay, in the last game from last night, Grizzlies and the Spurs. Spurs won 116-103. Grizzlies, Mike Conley having a great game, 26 points. He also had double digits from Marc Gasol, had 17. Vince Carter, 10 points. James Ennis, 11. And JaMychal McGee, excuse me if I said that wrong, with 11 points off the bench. Now, on the Spurs side, Leonard, 28 points. Tony Parker, 16 points. And you had Patty Mills coming off the bench with 20 points. I mean, the Grizzlies-Spurs series has really been interesting. Just for a lot of things. And I'm not going to get into it that much because I want to get through the other topics. But I will say this. Whatever the outcome is, it's going to be a good one. Okay. Now we're going to be sliding on over to the MLB. Going to be talking about 2 games that happened last night. Before I get into that, there was some news for the Marlins. And that is a group led by Derek Jeter and Jeb Bush to purchase the Marlins, they won the bid, which was for 1.3 billion, I believe, million, whatever it was, they won it. Although they still have to be approved by the MLB. Now, I think it's a good move on the Marlins' part, even though the Marlins don't really have a strong history. They've been in the league since '93. They've only been in the postseason, 2 times? And in those 2 times, they won the World Series. And it seems that after those years, they just traded away their talent and they just became awful. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what my man Derek Jeter's gonna do. I mean, who knows? That's all I'm gonna say. And I'm not gonna, say he might do a bad job or whatever. No, not gonna happen. Okay, so moving on to the games. A lot of action happened last night. Although there were some rainouts, the Yankees got rained out. So, for one game I'm going to talk about was the Milwaukee Brewers versus the Cincinnati Reds. Brewers won 9-1. And the talk of the Brewers has really been first baseman Eric Thames. Now, this is a guy who's spent the 3 previous seasons in the Korean Baseball League in South Korea. And right now, he is leading the league in home runs with 11. 20 games. 25. He's leading the league in home runs, runs, and slugging average with 929. I mean, who knows where this guy will end up at the end of the season. It's just unbelievable. And he hadn't played in the majors since 2012 when he was with the Mariners. I mean, this was a great get for the Brewers, and it'll be really exciting to see this guy do something fantastic. Okay, moving on to the next game and the final game, Detroit Tigers versus the Seattle Mariners. This was a blowout win. Tigers won 19-9. How rarely do you see teams score more than 10 points? 10 runs per game, excuse me. Sometimes I get confused. How often do you see teams score 19 runs in a game? Very rarely. Felix Hernandez got the loss. Now, I don't know. There's something wrong with his arm. He hasn't been really dominant the past couple seasons. You gotta check that arm. Out. Like I said earlier, Tigers, 19 runs. You had home runs from James McCann, Justin Upton, Alex Avila, and Mickey Matuk. And Tyler Collins, 3 hits, 3 RBIs. Just unbelievable. You never rarely see that these days. Alright, that's it for the MLB. Moving on to the NFL. Got some big news. Other than the draft, which starts tomorrow, Adrian Peterson is now a New Orleans Saint. And honestly, well, before I get into that, he signed a 2-year deal with $7 million and a $2.5 million signing bonus. Now, to be honest, I don't think it'll do much of a difference because Peterson has suffered with injuries over the past couple of years, and he had that incident where he was beating his children, so he missed a season out of that. And the Saints, they already have guys, Drew Brees, Mark Ingram. It's not really going to make a difference, but who knows? The Saints could do a little bit better, I guess. And the final story from the NFL, the Beast Mode, Marshawn Lynch, is making a return to the NFL as a member of the Oakland Raiders. Now, it hasn't become officially official yet because he still has to undergo a physical. The Seahawks have agreed to trade their Marshawn Lynch's rights to the Raiders. And I'm sure this will be epic. Because everyone loves the beast mode. I mean, that's all I gotta say. Okay, and that concludes this episode of JGait Sports Talk. Till next time, peace out, sports fans.